The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, BTC fires more than 10 people. The unions that represent those workers say the firings were baseless, and BTC executives are treating workers in a demoralizing manner. The United Nations revamping its peacekeeping mission to Haiti to a more militant one to hopefully and meaningfully restore order to the nation. We'll tell you where the Bahamas factors in there. Also, several people showing interest in the Golden Isle seat. This is just for the by-election. And so tonight, who are they? How do they size up? And who is the best fit? And my technical producer, Justin Williamson, making a splash today. A locally produced documentary he had a role in gets international attention. I'll give you a peek at that as well. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, tonight, BCPOU President Sherry Benjamin is slamming a statement by BTC executives saying that the termination of staff members was in line with the industrial agreement and labor laws. BTC's executive says both BTC unions were aware of the firings before they happened. Well, joining me this evening is BCPOU President Sherry Benjamin. Sherry, good evening to you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you here.
Good evening, and thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show. Exactly what happened, because this all came to light late last week. We were aware that at least 10 people were fired. Of course, just about half of them come under your union. But what happened?
Okay, so just for clarity, 5 of the persons that were let go last week were contractual. Their contract, from my understanding, had expired, and they did not renew those contracts. But these were persons who would have been in the business for years, for a number of years, and they were let go for, I guess, whatever reason. I don't know, because they are contractors.
They weren't newly contracted. They've been at BTC working for a number of years.
Right, and they were working without a contract for a while. So it isn't like their contract just expired and they said, I'm not going to renew it. They were, to my understanding, their contract had expired in some cases for a while. They were working without a contract. We have an article in our industrial agreement that speaks to BTC not having persons in there for more than a year on a temporary basis. Mm-hmm. However, we have persons at BTC who've been there for almost 10 years. Almost 10 years.
On a contractual basis.
On a contractual basis. They have no stability. And as a matter of fact, before I became president in the union, when I was Secretary General, I took them to the Labor Board, and they were told that they were in breach of the law because these persons weren't getting any benefit. They weren't getting any vacation pay. They weren't getting any sick leave or anything. And, the law says that after 6 months of continuous service, they're supposed to get 1 week paid vacation. So they were, every year, they broke their contract for 1 week, and then they would re-engage them. Mm-hmm. But they were already...
It's almost like they started over every year.
Right, but they were in breach of the law because those persons, and they were breaking their contract without paying them. So they were in breach of the law. When I became president in 2021, I took them back to the Labor Board because that was a passion for me. I felt that BTC was taking advantage of the contractual staff. And so I took the matter back to the Labor Board. And from there, they were forced basically to give these people what was due to them. Now, there are a lot of persons who would have left and BTC owes them money, and if I was them, I would do a class action suit against BTC to pay those monies, because they owed them for all of the breaks that they took and the unpaid vacations and stuff. They owe them for those things. They would have earned those benefits, and they have to pay those people. They are now paying the contract workers now, but again, that is something that just happened in the last 2 years. But in 2022, coming home on Thursday, BTC would have let go 5 persons. Three of them fell within my bargaining unit, but 4 of them were my members. And the reason they let them go, okay, in 2022, there was an investigation where they discovered that a contract worker was using fraudulent credit cards, or he was using stolen credit cards to purchase high-end devices from BTC.
A contract worker.
A contract worker. He was employed with BTC at the time. So he was going to his colleagues with these credit cards, and he was purchasing high-end devices. Now, what he was doing with them, I don't know. We do know that several of the contract workers were implicated in that, in the investigations.
It gave the impression of a ring going on.
It was. Okay. But the ring was going on, and there was an investigation first by the finance department, which started in October of 2022. And the director of finance at the time, she would have left the business in 2023. And nothing happened with the investigation until in 2024, at the end of 2024, when they started to rehash this investigation. So they brought the investigation back, and they started looking back into things. One of the persons who was let go, she worked in one of the retail stores, and she happened to be one of the cashiers who would have, I guess,
facilitated the sales from the guy?
Right. She would have done all of the transactions from
every last one from this individual?
Not everyone, but I mean at that store.
Okay.
Because she was the main cashier at the store.
Okay.
Or I guess the senior cashier at the store. But again, she would not have known that he was doing something fraudulent, because again, she was just a cashier. He brought a credit card, they used the credit card, and the credit card went through, so that was that. Now, I could have seen them, to me, unfair. I could have seen them because I think more attention could have been paid by the cashier, but rising to the level of termination, I didn't think it rose to the level of termination, because...
But what did they say? What did the investigation reveal, and how did they feel? Because as you can imagine, if this cashier more than once used the credit card with the gentleman, and you said it was a ring going on, maybe...
But she would not have known it. She would not
have known it was a...
No, she would not have known that, because he was using
fake
several different credit cards, so she would not have known that.
Okay.
She would not have known it. Plus, he was a current employee. So you don't suspect that your co-worker
your cashier
would be doing...
Wait, first of all, you're right. You don't suspect your co-worker, and the cashier, it doesn't have whether the technology or whatever it may be to be able to determine this credit card is fake.
Right. So or stolen.
Or stolen.
Right. So again, they terminated her because the fact that she was the one who would have received all of the transactions. So that was that. Our challenge came in with the fact that they terminated her, knowing that there was no way for her to be able to detect that these things were done. Again, now my member from finance that was terminated, she was a contract worker herself. She don't know these people. She had no dealings with them. So she would not have, she definitely was not a part of it. But she was in a department in finance where there's this thing called chargeback. That's where if a customer disputes a charge from their credit card, the bank would send that to the company, and then the company would do their investigation to see if the charge was legal or not, if it was a legitimate charge or not. And in that particular department where she worked, there were 6 people in that department. Bear in mind, she was a contract worker when this all started. She was a contract worker, and in 2022, I think in June or so, 2022, she was made permanent. And then in October of 2022, when they originally found that this thing was happening, and so that's when the investigation started, and the gentleman in question, he would have resigned. So they made her permanent. She was the most junior person in the department. They reduced the department from 6 people down to 2.
Including her and someone else.
Her and another former BTC employee who stayed on contractually. And this lady, she was a senior lady. She was well over 60. But she was competent and she was carrying out the functions. But you could imagine reducing a department from 6 to 2, and you removed none of the work. All of the work stayed in there. I was invited to a meeting by the CEO, and the CEO, in that meeting, there was the CFO, the entire finance department, along with persons from CWC. I watched the director with tears in her eyes plead to them, I need additional staff. She said to them, a lot of things that should be happening, including these chargebacks, were not being done. So the company was well aware. So when I say that this is poor management, and I'm talking from the top, the CEO stood right next to me, and he knew. And I told him I told him after this incident happened, you cannot make this young lady a scapegoat because you knew those chargebacks weren't being done.
Well, if the director is saying, listen, she is not equipped in terms of manpower to properly...
With tears in her eyes, you hear me? And she eventually left the business because she could not take it anymore. She could not. She left the business, right? Now, fast forward, they did their investigation. This same young lady was promoted to a senior associate. She was hired as a permanent staff in 2022, in June of 2022. But this has been going on from possibly 2021. But they found it in October of 2022. So she was hired as a permanent staff. She joined the company in 2019. She was hired as a permanent staff in June of 2022. So she became a junior staff member who was supposed to be working under the supervision of a more senior staff member. Didn't happen, right? In 2025, she was promoted to a senior associate.
Oh, okay.
In 2025, after this whole investigation was completed, all of that stuff was done, they promoted her. So clearly, and they knew all of this stuff had happened, by the way, because like, bear in mind, I said this happened in 2022. The investigation first started in 2022. So all of the stuff that I looked at happened in 2022.
But the fact that she was promoted this year,
This year.
Earlier this year.
This year,
And
in
fired
March of this year.
And fired last week.
And fired last week.
What happened?
They do not want to take, the CFO left the business, the director left the business, all of them left the business, in my view. Well, I know definitely the director left the business because she could not take the foolishness. We are suffering from poor leadership in BTC. We are suffering from poor leadership. Today I was trying to make a phone call out and I could not get a phone call out for the life of me. I had to call people on WhatsApp because the phone calls would not go through.
What is happening with the phone system, by the way?
Lousy leadership. Lousy leadership. And if the government doesn't do something, this company is going down to hell on a one-way ticket.
But isn't it a privately run organization?
It's a privately run organization, but the government says they have 49 plus the 2%.
Yeah.
So that means if they have the 49 plus the 2%, they are the majority shareholders and they need to do something. They have to.
What is the morale there? I mean, especially after last week.
The morale is crazy. And the other one, other member, she was terminated because a customer walked in angry over, albeit it was a senior citizen, he walked in angry over the fact that he didn't have a charging block in his new device that he purchased. And he took the block, the phone, and threw it in the space where she was, in the cashier's cage where she was. She made a report to the police. And they terminated her because she made that report to the police. I have the termination letter right here.
She was assaulted, or there was an attempt to perhaps injure her.
Exactly.
And she went to the police and she was fired for making a report?
Exactly. And the CEO, in a previous meeting that we had with him, when he showed us the video footage from there, to say that, okay, the gentleman did not throw the phone directly at her. Even though he didn't throw the phone directly at her, he threw it in her workspace where she was. So she had all rights to feel threatened. Mm-hmm. And he promised that this girl, if she withdraw the charges against the gentleman, she would not have been terminated.
Oh, so
right?
She was fired because she did not withdraw the charges.
She did. Oh. So that's why I said to him, he walking around with liabilities. He is, anyhow. Shanique?
Well, as we wrap up right now in 1 second, what do you want to say to BTC's management and executive team?
I want to say to not just the management and the executive team, I want to say to the government, to the shareholders, this company is suffering. The staff is suffering. They're being abused daily. Their system is not working properly, and obviously they're not spending the money where it's supposed to go. A lot of the air conditions in the whole company, you might as well say, ain't working. So that's why the systems are going down on a frequent basis. They can't pay their bills. They are not paying their bills, so nobody.
Which bills? Utilities and whatnot?
They ain't paying no vendor bills, and that's why nobody want to do no business with BTC. And I don't care how they get mad with me. The company is running down to the ground, and somebody needs to step in and save this. This company has been in the fold of the Bahamas for too long, and this company has been our sole telecommunications provider and the strength of communications in this country. And right now we are suffering really, really bad, and nobody is listening. Nobody is listening. The staff is suffering, the customers are suffering, the business is suffering, and nobody is listening. Nobody.
I thank you very much, President of BCPOU, Sherry Benjamin, who is here talking about several employees, most of which are members of the BCPOU who were fired that she feels not warranted last week, and begging for solutions. In fact, you can come back and let us know exactly if some of them are being reinstated and what's going on there. But we have to go. Thank you very much.
Just before we go, I have an industrial agreement.
Justin, what's she saying?
I have an industrial agreement here, and our legal director, who can't stay on this island long enough to do his work. I have this industrial agreement that they said they followed, and nothing in here speaks to what he said that they followed. They did not follow this industrial agreement. at all. They did not.
Again, Sherry Benjamin, you are welcome to, let's follow up on this by the end of the week, if not next week, about exactly what's going on. Thank you very much. Again, just seem to be unease at BTC, the union president speaking to it this evening. Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Hey, it's Spa Week, we got what you need. Sit back, relax, and come in for a treat. We just wanna make you smile. We will go the extra mile at Baja Retreat Spa.
Come visit us at Baja Retreat Spa on East Bay Street. Contact us at 323-6711 or visit us online at www.bajaretreat.com.
Ever feel like you're missing your own life because you're constantly running off to the bathroom? Do bladder leaks or pelvic discomfort have you up at night and affect your confidence in everyday life? Those days are over. At Frequency Vitality Center, we offer a solution. Completely painless, fully clothed with no downtime. Perfect for men and women of any age, we help strengthen the pelvic floor muscles while you sit comfortably, improving bladder control, decreasing night waking, and much more. Strengthen your foundation and restore your confidence.
Welcome to Blissful Escapes, where luxury meets affordability. Whether you're seeking relief from aches and pains or simply looking to indulge in some well-deserved pampering, relax and detox in our infrared sauna. Enjoy a soothing Swedish massage or an invigorating exfoliating body scrub. We also provide advanced facial treatments using cutting-edge technology, including hydrofacial, microneedling, and microcurrent therapies, located at the shops of Cable Beach Plaza.
Crack the code and win $1 million. Crack the code and win $1 million.
7 numbers, $1 million. Every 3 days, a number is revealed. Act fast, your million is waiting.
Crack that code, win $1 million clear.
Crack the code before the last lock clicks shut. Get ready to join the winner's circle only at islandluck.com.
Crack the code and win $1 million.
Beyond the Headlines is now introducing powerful TV advertising opportunities made just for you. Choose our television ad package, 20 30-second ads for $2,000 or 20 60-second ads for $2,500 plus VAT. Prefer flexibility? Go a la carte. Just $150 for a 30-second ad or $200 for a 60-second ad. Step into the spotlight with our interview package. 1 15-minute interview for $500 or 4 for $15 per month. Or bring Beyond the Headlines directly to you with our live on location package, only $2,600 plus VAT. For more information, contact our sales agent at 242-466-6173.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in. Of course, a lot of you are really sort of giving feedback on that first segment that we had, the BTC matter. It really was an employee who I think was contractual, who was making these fraudulent purchases with several different credit cards, apparently. Again, I've invited the president to return to talk about, to talk about more about what happened, and hopefully this issue is resolved with some of those people being reinstated. We'll see. We'll absolutely see. But we're going to move forward this evening. A fugitive remains at large tonight after escaping custody last week. Tonight, the Commissioner of Police is revealing that an internal investigation is also underway to determine how this prisoner escaped. Jose Etienne is following the story.
Should our officers be found wanting, they will be dealt with according to policy and according to our law.
The police commissioner noting that the axe is expected to fall on any officer who may have played a role in Culmer's escape last Thursday. Authorities launched a full-scale search after realizing that the accused murderer, who was supposed to be under tight security, had somehow managed to break free.
We are looking to see what could have transpired or what transpired that gave this man an opportunity to escape from a secure building.
His escape not being taken lightly. Culmer was charged with killing 39-year-old Rudiska Bethel and attempting to kill 40-year-old Carla Bain and 36-year-old Lorenzo Sands during a drive-by shooting on Ragged Island Street in February last year. Police say he was already on bail for attempted murder at the time of that deadly shooting. Authorities are warning anyone who may be helping him to stay on the run that they will face charges for aiding and abetting.
If you are harboring this man who is in custody for murder-related charges, if he is found in your possession, in your premises, we will be dealing with you.
Of course, you all see tonight, I have the Beyond the Headlines contributors here ready to weigh in. And it's really, gentlemen, not much to be said. But what stood out, and we discussed this just before airtime in the newsroom, is the Commissioner of Police almost pointing fingers that she believes, or it's a possibility, that this person could have been assisted somehow. As you all know, no longer are prisoners sort of, I guess, no longer is it handled like the way it was, the bank lane shuffle, where they kind of have to be on outside somehow. They're kind of almost taken from the vehicle right straight into the court. And so it's like, how could this person have escaped? Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Beyond the Headlines contributors, Leslie Miller and Garth Roseborough. Your thoughts about this? And it's been now just almost a week.
Go ahead, Leslie Miller. That's you, Leslie.
It's got to stop,
Uh-huh.
I mean, here it is, the Commissioner of Police is indicating that someone inside internally could have assisted this man in escaping from Fox Hill Prison, going down to the police station next to the Parliament building in broad daylight. I mean, how do these things happen? The guy has some serious crimes that he supposedly committed. He's been out a week. He must not be on the island anymore. He maybe got to Miami for the weekend. Man, now it's a small place. Where could he be? If he had assistance from anyone in there, I guess they would assist him further to make sure that they don't find him, eh? I would think. If he has that type of assistance from them inside, therefore he would be able to do what he want to do and escape from their custody and escape them catching him while he's out there having a good time. I just hope he don't hurt anyone. That'd be my main concern for the life of the lady and who else he was trying to hurt before he was sent to prison. That's all I can say. Good evening, Bahamas. Good evening, Shanique.
Good evening,
Pleasure
Leslie.
to be here. I don't know what to say.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me again, Shanique Miller. And those people that continue to support Beyond the Headlines, good night to you. And Shanique, I got some rum cake coming in from Treasure Cove. So, these people actually who appreciate you. So
you got some what?
Some rum cake. Rum cake coming from Treasure Cove. So I think I'm gonna be pretty fat.
Treasure Cove,
right here, gated community. Life with Key is on its way and Albany is on its way. I'm having some rich people's cake this Christmas just because of you, Shanique. So thank you.
Well, well, first of all, Justin, you need to put the camera solely on Garth for a moment because they must have seen the suit. They must have seen it right there. Listen, you all have no idea. Half of the suit is this glitter.
Thanksgiving is coming, Christmas is coming.
Okay.
Be careful, people. Crime is up. There's some break-ins taking place. But in this particular case, Shanique, I'm happy that the police commissioner is taking the time to now investigate this thoroughly. When it comes to the security of our country, the protection of the citizens, I would not be comfortable at this time with someone on the loose. And to know that our island is just 21 miles by 7, surrounded by water, it kind of just reminds me that we do have issues in terms of the parameters of our country, or the perimeter of our island, because things are coming in here, we can't track it. Things are leaving from here, we're not tracking. I'm going to challenge the police force at this time to just simply tighten up a bit, especially during the Christmas season, the Yuletide season.
Very important.
It's very important for us to give full support to the police department. And if you know of anything, you need to report it at this time because we cannot have a Christmas like this.
Well, gentlemen, the United Nations is changing, doing sort of, not an about turn, but certainly strengthening this peacekeeping mission, as you all remember it initially was. A new international security mission in Haiti, backed by the United Nations, could mean an expanded role for the Royal Bahamas Defense Force as violence continues to escalate on the ground. Linton Ritchie Jr. picks up the story, and then we discuss.
To this point, we have not committed infantry men to the effort.
Could Royal Bahamas Defense Force troops in Haiti be moved from the ship-based border patrols to the dangerous streets of Port-au-Prince? It's a question looming large after the Bahamian government pledged full support for a more, quote, lethal and expanded force on the ground in Haiti. The shift in strategy recently approved by the United Nations Security Council scraps the Kenya-led multinational security support mission, transitioning to a new gang suppression force aimed at stemming widespread violence and political chaos. With no deployment date set, UN officials are calling for 5,550 troops from participating countries to restore order. In a statement, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said, quote, the Bahamas remains committed to the security and democratic way of life for the people of Haiti, our region, and the world. Minister of National Security Wayne Munro telling Eyewitness News that discussions will be held soon to determine whether there will be any change to the RBDF's current role.
We need to see what is proposed. Once we see what is proposed, then the National Security Council will meet.
As unrest continues with nearly 6,000 killed in gang-related incidents in 2024 and 3 Kenyan officers killed this year, Munro reassures that the top priority remains the safety of Bahamian service members.
We don't take decisions in a vacuum, and we always look out for the best interests of the Bahamas and our servicemen.
Well, that is something we've been discussing from the time the peacekeeping mission came about. And now, of course, you see they are kind of changing because it obviously didn't bring peace. There's still chaos there on the ground in Haiti. Your thoughts about the Bahamas, and not just the Bahamas, other nations as well, are now approached with, hey, listen, help us do this, help us make this happen, and to go there and now play another role, more front line.
Well, that's it, Mel. I'm sitting there, I'm shaking. You got to answer that again. I don't like what I saw, Shanique Miller. It's just too chaotic for me. It's something that I'm very unfamiliar with. I could only imagine the horror having to live there, because what you saw running there were just innocent civilians, as it were, running for their lives. And if you're going to send our good sons and daughters over there, all I can simply say is that if this is your role in life, I must pray now that, for your safety. This is something I wouldn't take lightly at all, Shanique Miller. I think it's a heavy burden to carry, and I'm horrified. I'll be honest, I'm horrified. I'm so horrified, Shanique, I don't even think I'm going to go to the Dominican Republic right now, right next door. I'm horrified.
I think like most humans, we are all concerned about the safety of our men and women, makes the Bahamas Defense Force, but appreciate the fact that all of the countries in the Caribbean, including Central and Latin America, are also involved in this. It's time that Haiti is cleaned up once and for all. Over the last 50 years, there's been too much turmoil. The president come in, he's killed. The United States has intervened, and over and over again. This time, the president is still going to intervene. They will send equipment, and food and what have you. But they're not going to send any troops. So it's up to the Caribbean. They are our black brothers and sisters. And I think the United States policy is very simple. It's really not their problem, even though they created it back in 1926 when they first invaded Haiti and been there for 20 years. And they really did it because of the same reason why they're going to try to destroy Venezuela. It's not because the Venezuelans are bad. It's because the big businessmen in the United States, the fellows who control all the oil in North America, are the ones who is forcing them to do these things. In Haiti, again, it's the Americans who have most of the big businesses down there in Haiti, and the rich Haitians who live up in the hills, that's away from the fighting. You'll now have to send black men and women of color to try to do what is necessary. Haiti deserves a last chance in getting itself right. And I would hope, what really bothers me, I would hope that people like Louis George and the rest of them would now step to the plate and volunteer their services to assist their brothers and sisters. Not just the pastor who's here on this show. Should also volunteer and get his church members. That is their country.
Leslie.
You should go home and assist them as best you can
And I
in any
imagine,
capacity.
Leslie, I imagine they will when it's safer to do so. But let's be real. Those persons you called, they are not military trained. They have no experience
They understand that.
in combat.
Yeah.
And
They don't have to go in that capacity.
But they can't go in any other. I mean, you see anywhere in Haiti to kind of go and set up
You have to go
shop.
and assist, man. That's the
Nick,
country. You have an obligation to do so.
That's it, Miller. You have to understand what you all said to me tonight. You said 5,000 individuals to go and stabilize Haiti.
Yes, at least that.
I wouldn't be going for 5,000. This ain't the movie 300. That ain't happening. I don't feel that's sufficient. I think the game that they're playing is one that's going to fail. If I see greater numbers, greater expertise, greater strength, yes. I'm all for stabilization.
It should be greater numbers. I
But
agree.
the numbers have to be, you got to talk to me about 20, 30,000. You know about millions of people in Haiti?
Like the
You're talking
Bahamas.
about gangs being strengthened every day by 100, 200, 300 people every day joining a gang just for their own safety. The way that works, Leslie Miller, if you were to go and, let's say, attack over the hill community, that over the hill community is going to recruit new people to come into their force in order to defend their turf. And if they become strong enough, they then go back over the hill to make an attack. You're looking at a serious situation of destabilization. The numbers have to be greater. We got to have at least 30, 40, 50,000 people going into Haiti to bring any kind of peace and safety. Right now, 5,000, that's not going to work.
I believe that all the smaller countries in the Caribbean, the Bahamas is taking that probably a similar view, that more men and women are needed. And that the Bahamas shouldn't send no cadre, large cadre, say 500 or 1,000 people. The United States is not going to send any. Africa has committed to sending troops. I agree with you all totally. It should be 40 to 50,000 to really get it done once and for all.
Easy.
If you got to wipe out all the bad guys in 2 months, wipe them out and try to have a country that people can appreciate.
That's what
because
I'm saying.
Sending 5,000 troops
waste of time.
Couldn't commit to one sector of Haiti.
Waste of time.
Haiti got, 7 million people? 7 to 9 million. How the hell are you going to combat the forces that are already entrenched in the different areas? Who is fully armed to the teeth and has the experience to kill, eh? Okay. They may not be the forces like police and defense, but they know how to shoot a gun.
We all agree
And
it
they ought to
should
use the
be
cutlass,
a
too.
larger contingent to go to Haiti at any given time.
I wouldn't think it's having more than 200 men and women going there. And you're going to have most of the Caribbean going to cut back on the amount of persons that you're going to put in harm's way also. But as you said, unless you have the numbers, you're going to be overwhelmed within maybe
a matter of days.
10 days.
A matter of days.
That's a matter of days, you're going to be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
The fellow's just going to shoot you down.
Yeah.
So it's very, very dangerous. And I hope that the government will make the right decision on behalf of the Bahamian people now, brave men and women of the defense force. But again, I say again, the Haitians who are here should volunteer to go back to assist their country. And I'm serious with that. There's no reason why they wouldn't. If you love your country, you will volunteer and go. Remember, the criminals who are there shooting, they are not defense force officers either. They are regular Bahamian, regular people just like those who are here.
Well, that ain't gonna happen.
Well, I know it ain't gonna happen because they don't give a damn about Haiti.
We have to be realistic.
They're already entrenched in the Bahamas and they're not going to volunteer to make their country a better place. Simple as that.
I think we have to be realistic. There's no way that any government or the United Nations will send regular citizens
I'm not asking them to.
of anywhere to go
I
to
said,
Haiti.
in a man's heart, if you love your country, you can go there and make some contribution. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And there's enough Haitians here that could do that in different capacities. They know the language, they know the country, and they should be able to make a contribution.
When we come back, we'll be looking at the contribution in Golden Isles. Many people hoping to make one there. Beyond the Headlines is backward after this.
My late husband, Tyrone Albury, had a passion for brewing beer at home. We found one of his recipes and we started on the stovetop with 1 gallon of beer. It was a hobby that turned into a passion project that turned completely out of control. We had to make a decision whether or not we were going to continue home brewing or open a brewery. So craft beer is basically brewing a very small batch of beer. Every individual batch of beer is going to be slightly different.
We're always trying to figure out what the next best beer is going to be.
Just the sheer amount of love and effort that goes into every brew. It's a science, really, to selecting the right grains and the hops, and then expanding on some of the normals.
Really, in the last couple of years, we've had a lot more of the locals that have found our location.
They realize that there is a fuller flavor beer out there, and we take pride in that. When we first started the concept of the brewery and we were looking for funding, it was the SBDC that we leaned on to help me push through at times when I wanted to give up, to tell me when I was making mistakes, and for that, I am grateful. So I would encourage all entrepreneurs, if you're looking for funding, mentorship, and encouragement to launch your new business idea, I would encourage you to contact the SBDC.
Are you ready to take the next step in growing your business? Check your eligibility for our guaranteed loan program at sbdcbahamas.com/GLP or call 461-7232 to learn more about how the SBDC can support your business.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Beyond the Headlines is now introducing powerful TV advertising opportunities made just for you. Choose our television ad package, 20 30-second ads for $2,000 or 20 60-second ads for $2,500 plus VAT. Prefer flexibility? Go a la carte. Just $150 for a 30-second ad or $200 for a 60-second ad. Step into the spotlight with our interview package. 1 15-minute interview for $500 or 4 for $15 per month. Or bring Beyond the Headlines directly to you with our live on location package, only $2,600 plus VAT. For more information, contact our sales agent at 242-466-61.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
It's just coming into our newsroom right now. Police are investigating a shooting in the Seabreeze Lane area. A male has succumbed to his injuries at the scene. Again, police investigating a homicide, a shooting, a fatal shooting in the Seabreeze area, coming into the show right now. Meanwhile, all eyes are on the Golden Isles constituency, with 3 Progressive Liberal Party aspirants vying for the party's nod for the constituency by-election, of course, as you all know. All of them confident in their ability to take on the charge as they tell Linton Ritchie exactly what it is they plan on bringing to the area.
Political speculation is heating up over who will carry the Progressive Liberal Party's banner in Golden Isles, whether in the next general election or a possible by-election triggered by the recent passing of Environment Minister Vaughn Miller. The reported frontrunners, PLP Senator Darren Pickstock.
Well, I have expressed my interest in that constituency.
Businessman Joe Johnson, chairman of the party's national men's branch, who was a political aspirant in the same constituency during the last general election, but Vaughn Miller was chosen to carry the party's banner, and also vying for the seat, entrepreneur and former chair of the Progressive Young Liberal, Deasante Small. All frontrunners confirming to Eyewitness News their letters of interest were submitted prior to Miller's passing on September 28th, as Miller reportedly planned to step away from frontline politics. While Prime Minister Philip Davis has not revealed whether Golden Isles constituents could see themselves at the polls before the end of the year, all aspirants say they are ready to serve if given the nod. For Senator Pickstock, he emphasized that from his view, he's primed and ready to work.
You know, I serve in the Senate currently. I'm the executive chairman of BAIC, and I'm ready to serve. You know, this is about service and service to the people.
Meanwhile, Johnson cited his deep roots to the constituency, telling Eyewitness News he never left the ground.
Other than the fact that I have a business that in my employ are residents, my whole mantra is in Golden Isles, what is for you is for me.
And for budding entrepreneur Small, she makes it clear from her stance that she relates to the community in more ways than one, and she hopes to begin her legacy as a young political hopeful.
And women everywhere deserve that representation that looks like them, that are going through the same challenges as that. I get the job done in every sector of my life.
While the race is still on for the governing PLP in Golden Isles, the FNM has ratified Brian Brown. Brian Roll will represent the COI. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
And so there you have it, of course, the breakdown. Let's just start before we get to those three for the governing PLP. Of course, you saw the Free National Movements more than likely will go with Brian Brown, who has been canvassing the area for quite some time. And then, of course, the COI has Brian Roll. Now, we've not seen these ones before for Golden Isles. This is Joe Johnson, Senator Darren Pickstock, and there's a third person. You all remember the name?
Deasante Small.
The female, the lone female,
Deasante Small.
Gentlemen, your thoughts on those who are expressing interest for the PLP?
Well, I have familiarity with all except one. Brian Roll, the COI, he goes fishing with me on my boat, so he's a friend of mine. Brian Brown is my blood cousin, Betsy Bay Miguana, for the FNM. For the PLP, Joe Johnson is the owner of Avery's in Adelaide and former Defense Force officer. I think he's also the head of the Men's Association for the Progressive Liberal Party. And then, of course, Mr. Darren Pickstock, of course, I've known him through the years, always a decent young man. And so I'm looking forward to a very interesting race. As for the lady, I'm not aware of her altogether, but I'll say this about the Golden Isles constituency, Shanique Miller. It's extremely huge. It's not an easy territory.
7,000 voters plus.
You're looking at one of two of the largest of all of our constituencies. Kalani would be the other one, whereas Golden Isles is that one where there's a main road that goes all the way into Coral Harbor towards the airport, but what most people don't see is that there's a dirt road that's to the south of that. And that road runs all the way from very near to, I'll say, we're going almost down to Bacardi Road.
Mm-hmm.
It goes all the way in the back there, and you should see the amount of people that live in the back there in farmland. And you have many Haitian Bahamians that are also in the back there. We had a case with the Honorable Keith Bell where he had the passport situation at the church, if you recall that story. Those people are from the Golden Isles constituency, so I expect there may be even additional registrants for the Golden Isles constituency. And I cannot see a female walking in the bush. I talk about in the bush, there's a lot of people in the bush. You got to go in the bush for those people. You have to get to know them very quickly. The time will be extremely short. And the more familiar the candidate is to the people of Golden Isles, the easier it will be for a victory. For you to be new coming into Golden Isles and without a track record, I say it's going to be extremely expensive for you to get to know the people of Golden Isles, because we're not just ordinary people. We're kind of bougie, Shanique Miller. We got canal, and we got some big 2- and 3-story homes in the back there.
Yeah.
We got some large acreage in the back there, and some big yards, and
Yeah,
a whole number of business
Yep.
people in the back
Yep.
there.
Yep.
And so this is not a promissory constituency, Shanique Miller.
No.
This is a constituency where you bring it or you get out. Now, if you don't have it, don't even start. You got to bring this. It's going to be 242 cash now all day, all night until 6 p.m. when the polls close.
No, I'm not too familiar with the three aspirants. I know Ms. Small. She assisted Mrs. Price in her campaign in the last election. To be honest with you, from going through that area with my former brother and friend, my choice would be to get Michael Keatis back in that area, even though people may be against it. Mike is comfortable in St. Barnabas because he's going to win that. But people speak highly of him. Most people would, I believe, would wish for someone of the caliber of Mike, who has been in there already, who has proven himself, to come back and serve them again. I think in a race like this, it's going to be tight because you have over 7,000 voters, and that constituency has swing to and fro for the last 30 years. It is no short constituency for the PLP nor the FNM. So the candidate is going to play an important role on the personality of the candidate, the views that he expressed, he or she, the likeness that people would have in them. You know, they have a lot of work to do.
A lot.
And my choice would be to try to get Mike Keatis to go back to his old area. It'll certainly make the job easier for the PLP to claim victory. That's my personal view. But of course, they can pay no attention to me now.
You may have to leave Mike where he is, though, because you see, the legacy of Golden Isles, Mr. Miller, you know this better than all of us, is the person of Frank Watson.
Yes.
If we can find a person like Frank Watson who has personality, that when you meet this person, they have charisma, but they, you know, similar to one of our former prime ministers, they do exactly what they say they're going to do.
Yeah.
This is what Golden Isles needs. Over the last 15 years, there's been issues, major issues in the Golden Isles constituency.
Yes.
We have not gotten deliverance on any of these issues. There's some work that has been done. I'm not going to take it away from those. Efforts have been made. The previous member of parliament, who we're now giving honor and respect to, has done some work in Golden Isles.
Yes,
I'm not going to say that nothing has been done.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is the amount of work, Shanique Miller, it
That
is
needs to be
huge.
done.
When I use the word to you, huge, it's colossal. You cannot come into Golden Isles just penny picking around. You got to come here with it. You got to come in there with strength. You got to come in there with force. You got to come in there with money. We don't want to hear, I got to go talk to the prime minister. No, you better bring that when you come in and tell the prime minister I did it.
You've got to be
you
a
better pay the
self-made
bill.
person already.
This is it. You got to be established.
But so then, who looks
One
most?
did a lot of work
Who looks most
in that
outstanding right
constituency.
now as far as the people who are vying for the position?
Well, they don't have any track record with representing
That's
anyone.
what I'm asking. Who looks most outstanding?
This is
Whoever
what's
it is.
making
I
it
don't
a
know.
difficult decision even for me. I have a cousin in there. I love my cousin. It's a Betsy Bay make water thing, but guess what?
Which one is that?
Brian Brown. But I'm saying to you again, family can't get in this. This got to be a deliverance thing. You got to bring this thing now. We've been waiting for this, and let me tell you, it's going to be a by-election. We need this in Golden Isles, so we have not got the attention that we've needed in years. Boat ramps, we have flooding in the area, we have deforestation up there as well. Look at our Lazaretta Bend, where we have those potholes that could never be fixed. You got potholes up there by Arbor, by Bacardi Road. I go down the list of things that is wrong. The ramp has to be fixed in Adelaide. We need a sidewalk for the children in Adelaide to go from the corner to the school. These children are walking in the middle of the road with cars speeding by. We have issues in our area, and we want those issues now addressed.
I don't know who to endorse out of the three. It's not my decision to make. You have a committee called the Candidates Committee, and they're supposed to be the top echelon in the party who makes a decision. Maybe in this one they'll go on the road and campaign. Once they would have chosen their candidate, I'm sure they should be, because you had an input in who you wanted. So whoever you choose, you'll have to go and support that candidate as much as is necessary. I think it'll be a close election. Mr. Brown, we've seen him on the road many, many times.
8 years.
He worked with one the last 5 years, God bless him, and was FNM. And, he's familiar with the people, but he could be beaten with the right candidate. I don't know who the right candidate is, to be honest with you.
That's correct.
You only got 3 persons in the race.
Are they
I think
more?
they're
Are
all
there
fine,
more?
Fine, well, like they
More
might
may be coming, and more probably should
yeah,
come.
well, they'll know tomorrow, I believe. I think there's a meeting tomorrow. So that should pretty much be a case of the past come Wednesday morning.
Well, Shanique, you know, I'm at a point now where even Leslie Miller might run down there. You know, Leslie, if you give me enough money, I might run for you. You know, you never know.
I'll never run again.
Shanique Miller, don't cut your eye on me tonight. I just had to throw that in there for humor.
What are you saying, Garth? You might run?
I mean, you never know. If I don't see the right candidate, I might as well sit in there myself. Eh?
Tip your hat, Garth.
The rest of my life is for my children, my grandchildren, my loved ones.
Tip your hat.
No more Parliament for me.
Obviously, this is we are going to be following that. There is a meeting tomorrow, I think, with the Candidates Committee, as Leslie said.
Yeah, that's what I
and
was
so
told.
we'll see if they perhaps make up their minds tomorrow, or perhaps say, listen, who all are interested, come in and make your interest known, and then go from there. Certainly, of course, we will be following that, absolutely. I want to thank at the top of tonight's show, BCPOU President Sherry Benjamin, who joined me at the top of the show. And then, of course, the contributors, Leslie Miller and Garth Forsborough. Thank you both as well for being here this evening. And a big thank you to all of you for tuning in this evening. Certainly been a great, awesome privilege having you hang out with me this hour. I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.